Well, how y'all are? No, I'm not Justin Wilson, the uh, Cajun chef that used to come on Saturday mornings at 11:30, I believe, on Maryland Public Television. Of course, he was based in Louisiana, but national syndication, all that stuff. Anyway, I want to talk to you about the 2020 Robeson. Don't you dare call it Robeson County. Robeson County, the Robeson County Annual Republican Convention. What I should tell you is a little note of housekeeping. I already put out my video commentary on the Harnett convention. That one, even though that one happened after the Robeson County convention, because I figured that at that time in mid-March, the whole economic shutdown for the coronavirus was happening at a very alarming rate. And I figured I wanted to get the Harnett County video because there are a lot of events that happened that day that were related to this whole COVID-19 stuff. But today I'm going to talk to you about the Robeson County convention. This happened on March 10th, which was a Tuesday. Okay. Now, what's interesting about this was that this March 10th of 2020 was the very last day that we as an American society, at least in my opinion, American society as a whole, we were still a free country. Okay. And everything, all the stores were still open. You go bowling, you go to the movies, there was none of this non-essential central travel BS. But yeah, a couple days prior to March 10th, I was thinking about not going to go down to Robeson County because I was a little on cash. But now in retrospect, here it is now April 23rd. I am recording this video. And the coronavirus shutdown is still, unfortunately, plaguing our society. So I'm so glad now, in retrospect, that I went down to Robeson County. I can tell you that was an awesome day. The day started off as a little overcast, a little rainy. I went through Ashboro, went to a great place called Family Sports Center, where they had this amazing bowling special. Okay, for just $7. You could bowl for a whole entire hour, and that included shoe rental too. $7, shoes included for an hour of bowling. Most places you'd be looking at least $10 or $15 for the same deal. Okay, then I took a bunch of little state highway back roads, and then I was in Pembroke, and I had dinner at this place called Fuller's Barbecue, which was a very, very good buffet. Nothing will ever compare to Bill Ellis Barbecue in Wilson, North Carolina, which unfortunately has now been out of business for about a little over a year now. Nothing is going to replace Bill's Barbecue, but Fuller's comes pretty darn close. So anyway, let me share with you what exactly is Robeson County. Where exactly is it? Okay. Let me see here. Where do I want to go? Okay, this county is one of about 10% in this country that are considered minority majority. Now, this county, when first you think minority majority, you probably think that African Americans are a majority of the population. But Robeson County has this Native American tribe, which is the state-recognized Lumbee tribe, spelled Lumbee, course, Lumbee is where the town of Lumberton, the county seat for Robeson County, got its name. And of course, then you have the Lumbee River as well. And a lot of the Native American people actually live on the Lumbee River. Let me think here. Lumber River, excuse me. It's called a Lumber River. But when you look at the statistics of this county, as far as population-wise, 38% is American Indian. That's your highest share of the population. Whites are then 33%, blacks are 25%, and Hispanics are just a little under 5%. And then you go even deeper. If you're Asian, you're 0.33% population, and multiple races, other races, etc., etc., etc. Okay. Let's see here. This county, the population is about 130,000, but it doesn't really seem that way. It's sort of like you have Lumberton, and then you have Lumberton. As far as the urban area, Lumberton, the population is just a little over 20,000. And the population has actually, the county as a whole, it grew by an average of 10% from 1990 until 2010. But now this decade, the town of Lumberton has gone down by 3%, and the county has gone down by an average of 2%, which is a little weird because Robeson County is right on the I-95 corridor. If you travel an hour outside the county, you can be down in Myrtle Beach, you can be in Wilmington, you can be near Raleigh or Charlotte. It's a very good location. You also have I-74. It's an east to west corridor. You also have UNC Pembroke. Pembroke's a very small town, probably about 2,000 or 3,000, and the university is pretty much the population of the town. It's your quintessential college town, don't you know? Voter registration. Okay, these are the most recent numbers I got from the State Board of Election. These are current as of the close of business on Friday, April 17th. We have 43,000 Democrats, 20,000 unaffiliated, and 10,000 GOP, for a total of 74,000 out of 132. 74,000 out of 132,000. That's a voter participation rate of just about 56,000. Okay. Now, what's neat, though, and if you're a Republican, you'll actually like to hear this, is that where's that? Okay. Get back to this link here. Robeson County. Okay. Presidential election results. You're going to like this. Okay. In 2012, the Democrats won Robeson County with 58% of the vote. Republicans got just a little under 41% of the vote. Then, in 2016, the Republicans got 51% of the vote. Democrats got 47% of the vote. So the Republicans flipped this county for the first time since 1972. And there was a period of time that Democrats were getting 63% of the vote throughout from this, over that 44-year period. But Trump was able to flip it. And now let me go into our actual convention report. That was a little information about the county there and what's going on. So, the person who was responsible mostly for the great flip of 2016 is a guy by the name of Philip Stevens, who's the chair of Robeson County GOP. Credentials report there were 28 delegates, and they even said one guest, and of course the guest was yours truly. We met at the Lumberton Lions Club building. The building was just the right size, and the parking lot was actually, dare I say, bigger than the Mecklenburg County GOP parking lot, dare I say. And the Lumberton Lions Club was on the right off of Interstate I-95. I mean, if you were traveling north on I-95 towards Fayetteville, you took the off ramp, okay, turned right, and then like 100 feet later, boom, boom, there's Lumberton Lions Club just to your right. And if you blink, you might have missed it and be right in smack dab in downtown Lumberton, right? Okay. So the convention started at 6:10 p.m. The start of the convention was announced at 6 p.m. Some counties, what they'll do is they'll say registration time is from 5:30 to 6, and then the convention is going to start right at 6. But other counties, especially your smaller, more rural counties, will say the convention starts at 6, and whatever time, we'll start a few minutes after that kind of thing. Okay. Also want to thank the Robeson County Republican Women's Club because they had a nice, very nice selection of refreshments, cakes, cookies, chips, snacks for the convention. They also had Diet Coke. You get these nice big, 16, 20-ounce bottles, and that, of course, helped keep me awake on the 2-hour drive home back to Greensboro. So, of course, we started at 6:10 p.m. Chairman Michael Whatley was our featured speaker, and Chairman Stevens decided to let him go first because there were a couple other conventions that night. I believe there was one in Sampson County and then a couple others east of I-95. But I'll say that even though I did not vote for Michael Whatley for chairman last year, he's done a very good job. And just having him here in Robeson County, a little small county, right? Very rural county, says a lot about the man's character because back in the Robin Hayes days, Robin Hayes, he was either at Wake County or Mecklenburg County. All their counties could go, blow themselves. But sometimes Dallas Woodhouse would attend on Hayes' behalf. But still, though, it's good to actually have the actual chairman of the party at a convention, even in a county as small and rural as Robeson County. But I say small. Actually, Robeson County is a fairly large. It's actually the largest county as far as land area in North Carolina. A lot of tobacco farming, agriculture, that sort of thing going on. All these wide open fields. Okay, so Michael Whatley explained that since Trump got elected, there's been 7 million new jobs created. 700,000 have been in manufacturing. You might remember that Obama saying that manufacturing's never coming back and that you have to wave a magic wand or something. But no, manufacturing is and has come back to the tune of 700,000. Okay, and 234,000 new jobs have been created in North Carolina. The number could probably be higher, but we have this little pariah known as a Democrat governor known as Roy Cooper, who has vetoed legislation to repeal the corporate income tax. That would certainly help the job numbers a lot more if he did that. Okay, also there's been over 2 trillion more spent in defense spending and a lot of raises for the first time in like 10 or 15 years for military personnel. Okay. So, Watley explained the path to victory to re-elect Donald Trump. Okay. He asked to win all the states John McCain and Mitt Romney collectively won. Plus, he's got to win Ohio, Florida, and North Carolina. Okay. And then he can either win Pennsylvania, but if he loses Pennsylvania, he better win Wisconsin, Minnesota, and Ohio. Excuse me, Iowa. Iowa, Minnesota, Wisconsin, or Pennsylvania. So he's got to win Ohio, Pennsylvania, Florida, North Carolina, or Ohio, those 3 states that I just said. And then Florida, North Carolina. So, in other words, there's no way that Trump can be reelected without winning North Carolina. And then Watley talked about supporting Tom Tillis. If you know anything about me and this channel, is that I am not a fan of Tom Tillis. However, he has done a good job supporting conservatives, supporting the nomination of conservative judges, and he's been a supporter of the VA and the military. Okay. Plus, let me give you this. This is from yours truly. This is not from any RNC site or any of that. Okay, this is from yours truly. Think about it like this. It's election day 2020. You're at the ballot. You got 2 choices. You can vote for Tom Tillis, the Republican, or you can vote for Cal Cunningham, the Democrat. Now, think about it like this. Tom Tillis, even though there are times when he sheds away from the GOP platform and he seems like a rhino, I still know that I'm going to get at least 50% of what I want if I have Tom Tillis as my United States Senator. What I don't know is how much I'm going to get from Cal Cunningham, but I have a pretty good feeling that it's going to be less than 50%. It's probably going to be even less than 10%. So think about this. I can get at least 50% of what I want from Tom Tillis, or I can get nada from Cal Cunningham. Just think about it like that, and then hopefully you'll be able to see through some of Tillis's foibles and vote for Tom Tillis on election day. Okay. What we did at this convention was Chairman Stevens, the county chairman, presented the convention through a live stream. He live streamed this on Facebook Live, which I think is a very good thing. You know, it makes this the convention accessible to more people. You know, and there's also a lot of elderly people who want to go but can't go, or there's parents who have kids running around with 20,000 million things to do besides politics and maybe want to look at this on a later day, which is a good. So this Facebook Live idea is a very good idea from Chairman Stevens. However, one thing that I disagree with him on is that he did not stream the entire convention. What happened was after Watley spoke, we had he decided to go off the air to talk about the district and state conventions. And then he went back on the air so that Donald Trump's county organizer, Abigail Blue, could speak. And then he went off the air again to give the Women's Club report and the credentials report, and then the business session. So all the business session was off the air, even though there's nothing, absolutely nothing, in the state planned organization that says you cannot live stream business sessions. There's nothing in there that prohibits that. So Again, a good idea by Chairman Stevens to live stream the convention, but then a bad idea to break it up like he did and not air the really sweet stuff, or the business session, I should say. So Abigail Blue talked about what the Trump campaign is doing, and they want to do MAGA meetups, Make America Great Again meetups, as well as meet and greets, show display of support. They had National Day of Action on March 21st, which included door knocking and phone calls into the Fayetteville area, which is their target area. And then they were planning on doing a National Week of Action soon. Okay. So, and then, of course, Chairman Stevens came back on, and he mentioned Facebook Live and said, talked about the amazing evolution of technology. If you go back, he said, if you go back 20 years ago, this thing, if you wanted to live stream an event, it costs you probably 20 or 30,000. But now all you need is a laptop and a webcam, right? And of course, for yours truly, we have YouTube, or I have a webcam, a microphone, and this laptop. I record video commentary and I post it to YouTube, and also post it to get more people involved. I've also posted on my personal Facebook page as well. Okay, so then Chairman Stevens mentioned that there's a huge, at the Lumberton Lions Club, there was this huge sign that had Dan Force for governor, okay? And what he wanted everybody to do was just take a photo of it with them and the Dan Force sign, just take a little video of them on the sign and post it on Facebook. Okay, so we have a report from the Robeson County Republican Women's Club, and that is led by an old friend of mine, Wendy Pridgeon. Mrs. Pridgeon, the name and the face sound familiar as soon as I saw her. Her and I used to both serve on the executive committee for the state party on the 7th Congressional District. I used to live in Wilmington, and she, has been in Robeson County most of her life. But Robeson County used to be in the 7th District for a long time. And then with the recent population growth of Wilmington, the 7th District has gotten a little bit smaller and more centered around Wilmington, and also Johnston County for some weird reason. But, anyway. But Miss Pridgeon said that there are 1,600 Republican women's clubs nationwide. The Robeson Republican women meet on the third Tuesday of the month, and they have an ongoing community service project that they are reading to students at the local charter schools in Robeson County. Okay, now we're going to get into the business session here. Of course, we already did our credentials right before this. As I said earlier, 28 delegates and one guest, me. Anyway, we had a motion to dispense or eliminate the precinct meetings and just elect delegates as presently seated. Okay, this is why I take the time out and I actually drive around the state and I go to every county or district convention I possibly can. Because you never know what's going to happen in these little laboratories of innovation that I like to call these county and district organizations. Okay, the precinct meeting. I'll have to be honest with you. In a bigger county, it might be more important, like my county, Guilford County, but in a small county like Robeson County, where it's always the same 20 or 30 people that show up month after month, and you already know where they live, you already know what their precinct is, what's the point of having a precinct meeting, right? So this, I think, is a very good idea, and this actually passed by a margin of 27-1. So overwhelming support for that. And another thing too is it definitely speeds up the convention timing as well. And by the way, the run time of this convention was an hour and 20 minutes, and Robeson County definitely got a lot done over that 80-minute period. Okay. And by the way, the maximum number of delegates that Robeson County can seat at a state convention is 80. Okay, and there are 28, so they can still get a lot more that can attend the state convention. As long as they attend the county convention first, so that allows that to be in 2021. Because the state credentials committee will never let walk-on delegates go to the state convention. Like you have to be registered Republican as of the last day of January, okay, and you have to attend your county convention in order to go to state convention. That's just how it is, and a lot of that's because to cut down fraud and just help streamline things a little bit. Even though every single year at the state convention, we have a delay because of credentials. So yeah, what's going on? Okay, Chairman Stevens. Back to him. He announced that the county party is working on having a headquarters. They have bought some building space. They're leasing it, and they hope to have it up by the end of March. Of course, I don't know if they have it up yet because this whole Corona thing going on, but hopefully they'll have it up before the end of May. Who knows? But it's going to be right by the county courthouse in downtown Lumberton. Okay, and then we have a resolution that we're going to take a look at here. The only county convention I went to that actually had a resolution to pass was at Robeson County. And part of the big reason why was because the chairman of the county party, Philip Stevens, is also chairman of the State Resolutions Committee. So yeah, it looked pretty silly if the chair of the Resolutions Committee at his own county convention didn't at least present at least one resolution to debate or pass or not pass or whatever. Bring about a business item. Okay. This one is okay. A lot of the resolutions are a little wordy. They repeat themselves a lot. So I'm just going to try to be as basic as I can and just read to you the very last paragraph. Here we go. Be it further resolved that the North Carolina Republican Party shall not support in any manner or provide any resources whatsoever or make any campaign contribution to the election of any Republican candidate or to any elected official if that person has made any appointment for any judicial seat or vacancy or any state board or commission or any other position if the appointee is a non-registered Republican, unless such position or appointment is required to be a member of another political party by the general statutes of the state of North Carolina, as those statutes exist at the time of the adoption of this resolution. So there you go. It's just a resolution in support of making sure that judicial appointments, boards, and commission appointments, that the people that are being appointed by Republican elected officials are actually Republicans. Yeah, makes sense, doesn't it? And this passed unanimously. And also, Chairman Stevens wanted to let us know that there's a Second Amendment resolution that's going to be on the floor at the state convention that we should hopefully pass too. Okay, now let's talk about RNC delegates. Okay, so according to some notes I jotted down, for North Carolina, it would appear that there's going to be, at the National Convention in Charlotte in August, there's going to be 40 delegates and 40 alternates, and each county in the state can submit up to 2 nominees. Okay, so, and Chairman Stevens mentioned there's 8 counties in the 9th District. The district can submit 4 delegates, 2 alternates, and then 2 replacement alternates. So, in other words, you have your 4 delegates. If 2 of them get sick, the 2 alternates get bumped up to full delegate. And then but I think the alternates can even attend the convention also. Okay. So then if your 2 alternates get sick, then you have your 2 replacement alternates go in their place, kind of thing. Let's see. And then according to the notes I jotted down, there's going to be 16 names at the district convention. And then there can also be delegates appointed or elected from the convention floor. This convention floor is now going to be done virtually because of the whole COVID-19 mess. So it's going to be done over the phone or via computer. And if you wanted to just apply to be an at-large delegate, in other words, these are delegates that you don't have to go through district or the state convention. You can just go through an at-large delegate does not have to go through the vetting process at the district convention. Okay, they'll have to go through a little committee, a state committee, and fill out an application. And by the way, the deadline for that was back on April 1st. And then these at-large delegates will get voted on at the state convention. Okay. And Chairman Stevens wanted everybody in the audience to know that he thought it was important that Robeson County, as many people from Robeson County attend the district convention, because they're in the same congressional district as Union County and Mecklenburg County. Now, what's the problem with Union and Mecklenburg County, you ask? Well, Mecklenburg County is the city of Charlotte, and Union County is the suburban county right next to Charlotte. So you have a lot more population in the Charlotte area, and that could definitely influence the election of delegates at the state convention. And Mr. Stevens thought it was important that Robeson County get at least 1 delegate to the RNC, because this was a county that just a few years ago was 92% Democrat as far as voter registration. Now they kicked that number down to 59% Democrat. And oh yeah, the county voted for Donald Trump in 2016, by the way. It flipped Republican for the first time in 44 years. So really, let's give Robeson County some representation here. Okay. So what happened now is the delegates at the Robeson County Convention that night, nominated David Edge and Daniel Locklear from the convention floor to have their names submitted for consideration to be an RNC delegate. Okay. And one of them, I forget who the man was, but he talked about his experience. He was a delegate back in 1992 in Houston. And he was he was a volunteer, not a delegate, a volunteer at the 1992 convention. He said basically he volunteered for 12 hours, and then the rest of the week he was free to do whatever he wanted. There were a lot of special perks. Even as a volunteer, he got to go to events and galas. And he said in 1992, he remembers when there were rotary phones on the floor of the convention. Because remember, this is way before the internet. This is way before smartphones and all that good technology. And he said you even might run into celebrities in the hallway, which in 92, this gentleman saw Arnold Schwarzenegger. So think about it. Volunteers can work, 12 hours? And so you might work like, if people started coming in on Sunday, you could do Sunday and then have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, do whatever you want, kind of thing. Now, I don't know if that's going to happen in 2020, but that was this particular person's recollection of the 92 convention. Okay, we are almost done, I promise. Okay, then we heard from the Board of Elections representative. There are 39 precincts in Robeson County. 14 of them are GOP. Board of Elections' responsibility is to nominate judges for each precinct. And the judges break down like this. 2 judges are Democrats, and 1 judge is a Republican for every precinct. Now, why is it 2-1 Democrat edge? Well, when you have a Democratic governor, that's how it is. When you have a Republican governor, it goes 2-1 Republican. That's just how it is, right? Okay, then we have a motion on the floor to allow the chairman of the party and the party executive committee to appoint precinct chairs between convention, okay? And that passes unanimously, okay? Again, this is a good thing to have because you constantly have people, especially in the bigger counties, you have people moving in, you have people leaving the county also all the time. So if somebody wants to be a precinct chair, especially if it's an election year like this year, it is very important that you make it as easy as possible for a person to become a precinct chair. Okay. Next, we heard from some candidates. For the 3rd District of Robeson County, we have County Commission candidate Jonathan Earl Cummins Jr. He has spent 26 years in the Army. He's retired. He retired in 2013. He has a degree in business. He basically says that Robeson County should not be as poverty-stricken as it is. Said there's so many missed opportunities around us. We have the I-95 corridor, and we have Fort Bragg in nearby Fayetteville. So the economy should be really humming in Robeson County. And also, Robeson County should not be losing population. He is a licensed general contractor for the Department of Defense in 14 states. Then we have, speaking on behalf of Mike Halsey, we have our friend Wendy Pridgeon. She wanted to make note that the Department of Insurance helped 250,000 people in 2019. There was a huge problem with fire departments not being inspected on a timely basis. So Mike Halsey hired more fire department inspectors. And in the last 3 years that Mike Halsey has been insurance commissioner, over 1,000 fire departments have been inspected. Okay. And then we heard from NC House candidate 47, Olivia Oxendine, who was a college professor, believes in 3 E's: education, and economy, and environment. Education, one, to close the achievement gap and have more people graduate from high school, more people have a good paying job, either going to trade school, community college, or a 4-year program. Economy, better schools equal better jobs. And then environment, wanted to really clean up the county and really implement the trash talk as part of this program called Trash Talk, and make that a part of the K through 12 county public schools curriculum. And I should tell you that we had the business session, and then we had the candidates speak, and they were on Facebook Live, but they all agreed. Chairman Stevens asked each of them if they wanted to go on Facebook Live. They all said yes, which is a good thing. And again, Chairman Stevens will say there were plenty of Danforst and signs and Danforst magnets to take home with you. And this convention wrapped up at 7:32 p.m. So it was an 82-minute, nice 82-minute, very productive, very fun session. Well, that is all for this time. For the Conservative Pelican, I'm Bobby Crawford. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.